Hello there guys, it's Joey. So this is a crystal grid, it's a crystal spiral that I used for the Morrigan connection, worshipping, celebrating yesterday on the dark moon, and it can also be used around the time of the new moon. So I thought I would pop it on video and talk a little bit about it as an idea of a different way to utilise crystals to honour the goddess Morrigan. Obviously, if you work with a different goddess, you can adjust the energies to the crystals that best resonate with you and your relationship to your particular deity, be it god or goddess. But this is how I felt really encaptured the energies around at the minute and some of the lessons that I'm trying to push through. And it's already been on Facebook, so I thought I would video it and talk a little bit about it. So at the very centre we have a labradorite. I think they call them wands. It's one of the sort of smaller pillars. I don't think we're going to get many flashes out of the labradorite today because it's raining quite heavily today. It's beautiful, but I don't think we're going to get that much light out of them. So then at the very centre of this we go out into a spiral with some black kyanite, and then a little labradorite, and then a black tourmaline, and then a little labradorite, and then a raw obsidian, and then another little labradorite, and then a peacock or bornite, and then it repeats, so labradorite, kyanite, labradorite, tourmaline, and so on. So, as usual, I chose the crystals on my intuition. I really do prefer to work with energies that just sort of speak to me for a particular time, for a particular reason. Now, labradorite always speaks to me because it's my spirit stone, and by which I'm talking about the crystal which best connects me to my spirituality, to my spiritual self, to my higher self, to my higher energy, to my goddess. Labradorite is a mystical and magical stone. It's a shaman stone, a shamanistic stone, a stone of magic. It's incredibly sort of spiritual and sort of connected to the spiritual side of things. It always fills me particularly with a sense of wonder and awe to look at it, and I spend a great amount of time with the bigger generator, which is this one. You can, yeah, there you go, you can see some of the light in it, and I sort of move it around and the flashes of light and things, and it's a bit like scrying with that particular labradorite. It can help bring messages of a spiritual nature. It can also be utilised for cleansing the aura, getting rid of thought forms. It's a stone of transformation above all else, and the reason that I most connect it with my goddess in particular is because of the shapeshifter energies of the Morrigan. So it's such a highly mystical, magical stone that I connect it very much so with crows, as well as ravens, but it's crow energy, I think, that would speak. I don't know, I think maybe both of them would really speak to labradorite energies, thinking about it. And it's that shapeshifter energy, the ability to see beyond what is there, see the mystical, see the unusual, see the other worldly energies and realms, and a crow just flew over, so I'm good. One of these days I'm going to capture them on video, you know. I went down the village green yesterday and there were 10 in the air and a load of them in the trees, but every time I tried to take a picture they're like, whoop, like, we're too mystical and magical for your camera, go away. So that is why there is more labradorite in this particular grid, because it has all this mystical, magical connection. I connect it to the energies of the Morrigan in particular. So following it is black kyanite. Black kyanite I also connect to crow energy for the very strong visual association that it has with crows, which is fairly obvious. It's a deeply grounding crystal as well, and I wanted a couple of deeply grounding crystals in this particular spiral because it felt necessary to sort of keep a level head, because there's been a lot of energies which are sort of very much up in the air. Very sort of there's been a very sort of strong pull right now into the sort of other realms, into the energetic levels. There's been all sorts of connections and unions of an energy field level, which sometimes leave us feeling a little bit ungrounded, perhaps a little bit spaced. And kyanite, of course, does link us to our higher selves, so it helps to sort of cleanse out anything that's going on that we don't want to. And, you know, it's helping us to connect with that higher energy that's going on now, but also keep our feet on the ground. And that's why black tourmaline is the next crystal as well, because that's just pure earthing, basically, for this grid. It's pure pulling the energy right down. It's the third crystal, so it's in the third sort of realm, because you're getting into the third realm when you're getting into your sort of death energies, right? So you're getting into the biggest availability of falling into the gap, if you like, not being able to ground yourself in the earth and the present. So I really wanted tourmaline in the third position, just to really pull back and keep the energy in this realm, you know, in this energy field, I guess. Following that, we have some raw black obsidian. A lot of people aren't keen on black obsidian. I, however, friggin' adore it. It's a Morrigan stone without question. It's very, very fiery. It's very, very protective. The best way I can think that I ascribe meaning to obsidian, that I basically, this is something I say. This is like when I sort of come up with my sort of analogies of how I feel about crystals. Black obsidian for me is the reflection of animals' eyes in the woods at night. So it's the blackness behind the stare. So it's that primal wildness, but it's very, very much a warrior energy. It's very, very protective. It's very primal. It's very much Morrigan, to be honest with you. And I wanted that power in the grid, but it's in the fourth place, in the fourth energy of where a crystal was chosen. So that keeps it a little bit more grounded. It doesn't go off fighting where it shouldn't be. The energy is sort of contained to where I wanted it within the grid. And then we have the peacock or bornite. Right, so I'm going to actually read you some meanings of bornite. For some reason, the Crystal Bible one is pretty lackluster, and there isn't one in the Book of Stones, so I went online. Hang on. It's a stone of happiness and joy. It brings the person a feeling that the way it is the way it's supposed to be. It brings you the ability to see and accept the joy in any moment. It helps you to realise the good in all things, the positive in all situations. It's a transformational stone that removes negative energy and helps replace it with a strong positive energy. It energises the crystals around it, as well as the energy in the room around it. and sort of, it's basically a little bit about helping you to cut the cords that are tying you to your negative experiences and preventing you from transformation. That's why I wanted it. There has been a lot of healing and sort of churning up of certain things which still plague me in regards to healing and things. So it's, the crystal is there as sort of this sort of alchemy spiral is basically what the entire thing is about. It's about personal growth and transformation, about seeking a higher calling, about sort of severing that which is holding back. So that is it for this Morrigan crystal spiral. I suppose I should mention it's in the spiral. The spiral is one of the most potent symbols of as within, so without, as above, so below. It's about the spiral of life, death and rebirth. It's the cycles. It's about the journey inwards as well as the journey outwards. And it's very much about finding centre and then everything sort of growing from that point, growing outwards, reaching up towards the heavens, or however you best see it, the sort of higher state of being, the best possible you that you can be. Oh, and last but not least, I said I was done, I'm not. I've actually been utilising this grid by connecting with it and meditating with Mab. Mab is my Numite. There's a whole video on her, but Numite is a shaman stone. It's amazing. This and labradorite are a really, really fantastic combination, as long as you keep yourself grounded, hence the two grounded and grounding crystals within the rest of the grid. Okay, so that is the Morrigan Dark Moon Spiral Crystal Grid. Many blessings.